Erik Hunter, and this is Behind the Curtain. Here we showcase student productions, whether it be short films for class, personal projects, or even feature films. This week, we'd like to introduce you to a short film, The End, directed by Media School's own Austin Bowles. The End is a chilling Twilight Zone-esque film about a man who abruptly wakes up after a fight in a bar and is forced to come to terms with his inner turmoil. Stick around because we'll talk to the brilliant mind behind this piece, but first, let's take a look.
Hello? Hey, what's going on? Let me out! What the hell is going on?
Before you even ask, yes, it's true.
I'm
Dead? Yeah. Happened right over there. Bar fight. You had sort of a habit of getting into those, didn't you? You were way too drunk, like more than usual. I don't know if you would remember, but you tripped over yourself going over here to fight someone that took your drink instead of theirs and smacked your head right on the end of the table.
I don't remember any of it.
Of course you don't. Nobody ever does.
So is this heaven or...
You loved this bar, Paul. You really did. Why?
Are you dead too?
No, and that's not important. The bar, Paul. Why was it so special to you?
It was an outlet. It was my only outlet, my escape from...
An escape? From what?
From my life, I guess.
No, that's not it, Paul. Let me ask you again. Why is this bar so special? Why were you always here? I was watching you, Paul, through it all. When your wife divorced you and you came here every day for an entire week, I was there. When you lost your dream job because you punched a coworker, where did you go? It was here. It was always here.
It wasn't like that!
No, you're right. It wasn't an escape, because sensible people know that there are no escapes. You can only prolong the inevitable. You were hiding from something.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What's your biggest fear?
I'm not talking about this!
You gotta say it, Paul. Paul, say it.
Why? Why do I have to?
Because I want to hear you say it.
Fine! It's being alone. I'm afraid of being alone, feeling lonely, and at least here There was always someone there, someone I could talk to or drink with, and I never had to sit in the silence and just deal with the pain that came from being alone with my thoughts, because if I did, that'd be that would be hell.
Please welcome Austin Bowles, writer and director of The End. Austin, thanks for coming in today. Looking forward to talking to you about the film. First of all, can you just tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so The End is a story about a man named Paul. He wakes up in a place he's not really sure. It looks kind of familiar, but not really. And he slowly finds out through his surroundings and through Asha, who's another character, that the place around him isn't exactly where he thinks he is. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where would you say the inspiration for this film came from specifically?
Well, I grew up in the Catholic Church, and so the ideas of heaven, hell, guilt, sin, all of those things really kind of speak to me, because it's college is the first time I've been away from that. So I like to use my art and ideas as kind of a way to grapple with those themes.
Okay. I also grew up in the Catholic Church. I went to Catholic school. So
Okay, yeah, same.
it's a Catholic thing.
Yeah.
So how would you say, first of all, can I ask where the film was filmed?
Yeah, it's in the soundstage in Radio TV Studio 5.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I recognize that, yeah, the bar. What would you say the experience filming in that space was like?
It was definitely challenging, especially with COVID and all of those things, because we had just come back from quarantine. So it was definitely interesting. Like, that was my only class where I had it in person. So it was a challenge to not only work with everyone in those kind of settings, but also to grapple with the idea that any of us could get COVID by filming. So. But it was definitely very rewarding because of that, because it was the first time we had returned from being on Zoom. So
Absolutely.
It was definitely a good thing in that moment.
Absolutely. I've shot productions in that room, and it's kind of a difficult room to navigate. It's a bit difficult, but you definitely made it work. And I think it fit the premise of your film very well, and it was really awesome. So props to you for being able to pull that off.
Thank you.
And also props to your actor who played Paul. He started out on the floor. Those floors are filthy. I don't. Good job. Good on him. Absolutely. Yeah. So did the inspiration for this film? Did you find any inspiration in the bar specifically? Did that help drive the story at all for you?
It definitely did, because we were told just to whatever our film was about, just to make sure it was set in a bar. So obviously it was had to take place there, but it definitely drew on the ideas of like loneliness and dread. I feel like, because when I think of people just lonely in a bar, I think of, they're in a bad place, that sort of thing. So it definitely set the tone for Paul's story, for sure.
Absolutely. Every time I walk into that set on stage, I just feel dread. So
yeah.
I completely understand.
100%.
You mentioned this a little bit before, but I'd like for you to reiterate a little bit, just pick your brain. Because of COVID, because of masks, did you have to rework the story at all to cater to that, to adhere to the guidelines? Because I know it's difficult with masks sometimes to emote as an actor.
Definitely. I had to do a lot of work with them to kind of get some expression through the eyes, and because that's all you can really do. But the eyes are really expressive in a way that none of the rest of the face is. So it was really interesting to kind of play with that in this setting, because we didn't have a choice. So it's just something we had to work around. But I think it definitely doesn't really ruin the effect at all. It's just kind of an obstacle that we had to get over. So
Right, it was definitely an obstacle. I don't think it ruined it at all whatsoever. As you said, the eyes, they're the windows to the soul, and I think your actors did a superb job of emoting with just their eyes, especially the actress who played Asha. She gave Paul just the stink eye the whole time. She was just looking into his soul, and I think she did a great job of that.
She did,
It
yeah.
was really impressive. So did the final project, did it come out exactly as you envisioned? Did it not? How did that look?
Well, I feel like with anything, it never turns out the way that you expect it to, especially under the circumstances. There were so many things I wanted to do that we couldn't just because of time and COVID restrictions and things like that. But I feel as though it turned out honestly better than I thought it would, with just being the lack of actors we were able to find and our skeleton crew that we had, because it was a lot. So with what we had, I feel like it turned out way better than it should have, honestly.
Well, that's amazing. That's awesome whenever it turns out better than you ever expected.
Absolutely.
I thought the final project was brilliant. I enjoyed watching it. And just for a short 6-minute little film, it really had a really deep meaning, and it was entertaining. I enjoyed it a lot.
Thank you so much.
Well, that's all we have time for today. Thank you so much, Austin, again, for being here and speaking with me about the film.
Of course.
And thank you for watching. If you are a friend or interested in submitting a project and being interviewed on the show, the link to a Google form is below to submit your video project. Until next time, I'm Erik Hunter, and this has been Behind the Curtain.